Hello and welcome back to Ace Academy. I hate when my brain does that. His smile drops.
What is it?
Yesterday, during my match with Akira's team, Akira's gear went into overdrive mode.
The same overdrive mode your core can do?
Yeah, I confronted Daludian about it this afternoon, and they told me that Midori Energy was the one who supplied them with the technology. Uncle Kaido looks grave.
That was your father's company.
Exactly.
Was this technology a research project he was working on for the company?
I don't know. He never mentioned anything to me about it when we were building Eagle. When I discovered that Eagle had the ability, I assumed it was just something Dad had created just for me, but now I'm not so sure. Kaido nods.
I'll have the PI investigate Midori Energy and see if there are any connections.
Before I can respond, Aunt Yuki returns to the living room.
How about a little TV time with my two favorite boys?
I'm up for that.
Same here.
Is Nikki home?
Not yet.
She is such a busy bee. She can join us when she comes back.
We throw in a movie about Sentence structure, Richard. Sentence structure. It's not complicated. We throw in a movie and Uncle Kaido and Aunt Yuki add their own commentary to what's going on. Normally it'd be annoying, but I'm just happy to see they're getting along so well again. Eventually, Nikki comes home and snuggles between Kaido and Yuki on the couch. And for the first time in a while, I feel like I'm part of a family again. And it's not just Nikki and me anymore. And judging by Nikki's smiles, I think she feels the same way. We watch until the late hours of the night, then I say my goodnights and go to bed. And it's not long before I drifted off to sleep. I wake up with a yawn and a stretch, and then I get ready for the day and eat a hearty breakfast. I hope Yuuna didn't forget our plans for the day. I'll give her a quick call, make sure she's ready for me to pick her up. The phone rings a couple of times before she answers.
Hi, ready for our nature excursion?
I grin. And here I was worried you'd forgotten.
No way! I meant it when I said I wanted to get away this weekend. I've even got my friend watching Mochi for the night. Studying for exams next week is really stressing me out. I think spending a day outside, enjoying the fresh air, seeing the wildlife is exactly what I need to rejuvenate the soul.
Awesome, because I already got permission from Uncle Kaido to borrow his car.
And I found a tent in our attic, so we have no excuse not to go.
In that case, I'll come by and pick you up now.
Okay, I'll be ready.
I've already prepared everything I want to bring, so once we hang up, I'll load it into the car. Then I drive to Yuna's house. She's waiting for me with a rolled up tent in one hand and a large bag in the other.
I brought some water and food, which should be easy to cook over a fire.
Perfect. I brought a few snacks too. I help her load everything into the car and we get driving. Yuuna acts as my navigator and tells me where to go. There's an area between the mountain ranges and lake which is a popular camping and hiking destination. And although this island isn't that big, it's still a couple of hours drive before we arrive. There aren't very many people around, which is fortunate for us. We select a more secluded area to set up camp and I grab the tent out of my car. Although it's been a few years since I've gone camping, I still remember the basics of how to put up a tent. And Yuna's tent's actually a lot larger than the ones I've used, and way more stable. This is a nice tent.
Thanks. My mom picked it out when I was in high school. She said Yuuna and I had outgrown our old tent.
I glanced at her in surprise when she mentioned her brother's name, but Yuna's face no longer holds a shadow of sadness. Instead, she looks on fondly.
Yuuna used to compete with Dad to see who could put up the tent the fastest. Usually Dad won.
They always do. After getting the tent set up, we pull out the sleeping bags and blankets and set them up inside the tent. Should we unpack anything else, or should we go do something?
I vote we unpack later and do something first.
I grin. Me too.
I had a few ideas planned. The nice thing about this location is that we've got a lot of options available. I was thinking we could go hiking, go swimming, or go on a scavenger hunt.
Let's go hiking. I've got my outdoor boots on and I'm ready to tackle the wilderness. Let's go for a hike. Yuuna points to her boots.
We were thinking the same thing.
These boots were made for hiking. And that's just what sorry. I shouldn't sing. I appreciate I don't exactly have a melodious voice. She grabs a couple of water bottles from a bag in the car and a few bags of trail mix. and then she puts them into a cute little doggy backpack. Nice backpack. She blushes.
Oh, I got this when I was little, but it's still useful, so...
No, I actually mean it's cute. She smiles.
I think so too. Plus, it looks a little like Mochi.
After shouldering the pack, she points towards the trail.
Come on, the trail starts here.
She starts to lead me away from the camp. At first, the trail leading up the mountain's easy, but it soon starts to get rockier. And we have to be careful about where we step. My footing's unsteady and I lag behind Yuuna, as I watch very closely where I step.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. She smiles, but slows her pace to match mine anyway. As we continue to climb, I enjoy the peacefulness of our surroundings. The trees shield us from the hot rays of the sun, and the only sounds are the scurrying of animals and our breathing. I barely register the squirrels jumping from the trees, but a weird animal that looks kind of like a dog and a raccoon darts behind a tree off the path. Hey, did you see that? Yuuna stops. That raccoon dog.
What?
Let's go chase it. I start to drift off the trail when Yuuna stops me.
Hey, wait! That's not a good idea. We could get really lost.
Good point. You wait here. Ah, you're right. The last thing we want to do is get lost and die in the wilderness.
No, that wouldn't be good.
Okay, stay here while I look.
What?
Before she can protest, I dart off into the trees. I spot the furry fellow gnawing on something and I approach it cautiously. A twig snaps beneath my feet, alerting the creature. It sits up and stares straight at me, then runs away, and I immediately give chase. We speed through the trees, my focus entirely on keeping the creature in my sight, and suddenly I crash into someone. Ow!
Hey!
I blink. Yuuna! Scrambling to my feet, I help her back onto hers. What are you doing here?
I've been waiting for you to come back. I was so scared you'd get lost.
Yuna's eyes glitter and her voice wavers. I didn't realize I'd worried her so much. I brush the stray leaves out of her hair and gently caress her cheek. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I pull her close to me and she buries her face in my chest.
It's okay, as long as you're safe.
Slowly we pull apart and I lean in to kiss her.
By the way, that animal you saw is a tanuki.
Are they actually real? I was never entirely sure if that was a real thing or just something that Mario, invented. So he had something to murder. A tanuki?
They're all over Japan. I'm surprised you haven't seen one before now.
Huh. Those are the spirit animals with the huge balls.
We should be heading back now.
Yuna's cheeks are bright red and she quickly heads back down the trail. Hey, wait for me! As Yuuna slows her pace, she looks back at me.
Do you want to just hang out at camp, or do something else?
I can't beat a bit of swimming. Swimming sounds perfect right about now.
Great! Since we're headed back to camp anyway, we can go get changed first.
As I nod, and as Yuuna leads the way, once we're done changing, I follow Yuuna again. It takes a few minutes as Yuuna guides us. And finally we come to the end of the path. Where's the lake? Yuuna points downwards, and I stand beside her at the edge and glance down to see pristine waters.
That's the fastest way to the lake. Otherwise, we'll have to take the long way to go
Are
down.
you implying we just jump? Are you sure this is safe?
Of course. There are no hidden rocks below, if that's what you're worried about. We're not that far up either.
Yuuna wears a sly grin.
If you're afraid, we can just walk down.
Cannonball. Afraid? I live for the adrenaline. Instead of responding, I take a step away from the ledge. Yuuna watches me with a mixture of amusement and surprise as I take a running start and leap off the edge. I tuck my arms and legs into a ball as I slice through the air. And with barely enough time to suck in a deep breath, I crash into the water. I pump my legs and break through the surface of the water and suck in more air. Squinting at the sun, I spot Yuuna peering down at me and flash her a thumbs up. Come on in! The water's great! She disappears, and for a minute I wonder if she's going to walk, when I see a flash of pink gracefully arcing off the edge into a beautiful swan dive, and she barely makes a splash as she enters the water. After a few seconds she breaks the surface and grins at me. I'd give that a 10 out of 10.
Oh wow, a perfect score.
For a perfect girl. I swim over and kiss her, my heart still pounding from the adrenaline. We continue to laugh and splash in the water when a colourful fish catches my eye. Hey, did you see that?
See what?
A rainbow fish. Yuuna gives me a weird look.
There's no such thing as a rainbow fish.
I swear I just saw it. We both squint at the water, and I spot a lot of trout and other plain-looking fish, when a glint of bright white and orange swims past. Sounds like a clownfish to me. There! Yuuna looks surprised.
Hey, that's a carp.
Oh, it's a
What's it
carp,
doing
right,
here?
okay. I don't know, let's catch it.
With what?
As the fish swims past again, I snatched it with my bare hands, but only managed to grab a handful of water. Ow! Yuuna laughs.
That's why fishing rods were invented.
Yeah, because I mean, the other way to fish only really works in rivers, which is basically where you sort of, get into a river, you hunker down, you stick your hands in the water, and you wait. And you wait. And you wait. And when a fish swims through, you just grab it and chuck it straight out. Bears can do it. The carp swims by again, and I lunge for it. But again, I come back empty-handed. Stop swimming, you sly fishy! Suddenly, Yuuna darts forward.
Oh, I touched it.
Really?
Yeah.
She grins proudly as her eyes sparkle.
I'm going to catch that fish.
Yeah, good luck with that. No matter how often we called and waited for the cart to return, it didn't appear again. Guess it learned its lesson and was staying far, far away from the grabby hands. Once our fingers and toes started to prune, we decided to get out of the water and dry off.
Is there something else you want to do, or do you want to head back to camp?
I think that's enough for now. Well, screw it. Might as well get the most of the content. So how does this scavenger hunt work?
I have a list on my phone. We take a picture of it and upload it, then the list will tell us what to take next.
That sounds kind of fun.
Okay, let's go get changed and then we can start.
She leads the way back to camp, and once we're done changing, I follow Yuuna again. We double-check the app.
Okay, so the first object we have to find is sunlight through the trees.
That's oddly specific, but not too hard. I point to any one of the myriad of trees surrounding us. Yuuna shrugs and arbitrarily picks up a tree to take a picture.
Done. The next thing we have to find is a fish.
Also not hard.
Come on, let's go to the lake.
I follow Yuuna down to the lake and we snap a photo of the fish swimming beneath the clear waters.
Next one is to find a lizard.
Okay, that's a little harder. Well, they like water, right? So, good thing we're already by the lake. We scour the bank, but are unsuccessful. And just as we're about to give up, Yuuna jumps excitedly.
Oh, I found one! Look!
I rush over and spot a little brown gecko, and it blended in so well with the ground I'd have missed it if Yuuna hadn't said something. Nice! What's next?
Find an intact spider web.
That'll be easy to spot on the trees. We continue to run down the list, enjoying the challenge, and the further down the list we go, the harder the requests. The items range from really specific, such as an ant moving something, to really general, like a butterfly, to kind of weird, like a dead tree.
Next we have to find a four-leaf clover.
Those don't exist. Yuuna blinks.
Sure they do.
No, clovers are 3 leaves.
Yeah, the four-leafed ones are really rare, but they do exist.
Yeah, they're basically genetic abnormalities. You'd eat Fry's lucky 7-leaf clover. Oh god, I'm tearing up just thinking about the end of that episode. What was it with Futurama with having episodes that you're like, oh, this is a fun, enjoyable episode. This is cute. Oh my god, the heartbreak! They just have endings that just rip your heart right out of your chest. Looking at you, Jurassic Bark. Jurassic Bark and Luck of the Friars are the two I remember that, because ridiculously, I haven't seen any Futurama since they brought it back, which is just depressing. Anyway. I've never seen one before.
Well, now you will.
Still skeptical, we get to searching. And searching... You sure about this? I can't find one anywhere. Yuuna frowns.
They do exist. They're just super hard to find.
Okay, well, can we skip this one and move on to the next? My neck is starting to cramp from staring at the ground for so long. Yuuna tries to skip but frowns.
They won't let us skip without uploading a pic.
Let's find a... Hang on. Okay, then we'll take a picture of a 4-leaf clover then. Yuuna blinks.
Did you find one?
Nope. I pluck a 3-leaf clover and let another leaf from another clover and hold them together to make a 4-leaf clover. Ta-da! There's our 4-leaf clover. Yuuna looks uneasy.
That's definitely cheating. Maybe we should take a break for now.
Yuuna smiles, but I can tell she's disappointed. She probably wanted this game to go smoothly, and my complaining didn't help. Hey, I have one last thing for us to find. Yuuna glances up at me. One amazing girlfriend. She blushes as I pull her close and kiss her. Time to take a picture, right? She nods, takes out her camera so we can pose in a picture together.
Okay, now I'm really ready for a break though. Is there something else you want to do, or should we go back to camp?
Well, I think we're out of things to do, so back to camp. Ah, pooped. Let's take a rest back at camp. She nods, and we make our way back. Lead on!
Sounds good.
Yuuna leads the way back to camp, and the sun slowly dips in the sky. I glance at Yuuna and smile. The day just flies by when I'm with her. Once we spot our tent, Yuuna turns to me.
What now?
Now it's time for the best part. The campfire.
I'll go collect some wood.
I nod, and the two of us get to work building the fire. I packed a lighter with me so we wouldn't have to fiddle with stones like cavemen, and soon a bright fire chases away the shadows and the sun sets. Yuuna's face glows from the flame as the sun shines a halo behind her. I grab a couple of skewers and pass one to her. I know traditionally people use sticks, but that always seemed kind of, gross and unhygienic to me. Yuuna looks at me confused.
What's this for?
S'mores, of course.
S'mores?
Don't tell me you've never had s'mores before. I grab the graham and crackers, chocolate and marshmallows. Look, it's heaven in your mouth. First you put the marshmallow on your skewer to toast it over the fire. I hold my skewer above the flames to demonstrate. Yuuna hesitantly copies me. Then you take the graham and crackers, chocolate and marshmallow and combine it into one warm, melty sandwich. Yuuna hides a giggle as she looks at my skewer. What?
Is the marshmallow supposed to be charcoal?
I lift my skewer out of the fire and see that one side of my marshmallow is completely blackened. Dang it, why does that happen every time? Yuuna removes her skewer and bursts out laughing. Her marshmallow didn't fare much better than mine. Okay, let's try that again. We place fresh marshmallows on the skewers and successfully toast them. After completing our s'mores, Yuuna takes a big bite and her face lights up.
This is delicious!
I know!
This is something you do in America a lot?
It's a must for every campsite.
I wish I'd had one sooner. Let's make another.
Okay. I grin as I pass Yuuna the items and watch as she eagerly puts the pieces together. Guess she really does love American stuff. I think I see her shiver and notice the cool breeze as the sun disappears below the horizon. Scooting closer, I wrap my arms around her as she focuses on her marshmallow. She blinks at my touch, but then our gazes lock. Then she meets me in a kiss, a forgotten marshmallow burning on the skewer. Suddenly, a droplet hits my head. I break away in surprise and glance at the sky. Do you just feel a raindrop?
No.
She gasps as a droplet falls on her nose.
I mean, yes. It wasn't supposed to rain today.
As if those were the magic words which unlock the sky, the rain pours down in a thick sheet of water. Yuuna's hair sticks to her face and neck as we're drenched within minutes. Quickly, to the tent! I grab Yuuna's hand as we race into the dry safety of the tent. Zipping it up behind us, I can hear Yuuna's teeth chattering in the darkness. Oh, we've got to get out of these clothes.
What?
My cheeks burn. Look, we'll catch cold if we stay in these wet clothes. She hesitates.
You're right, but we left the spare clothes in the car.
Suddenly, she pulls her top off. Wait!
Just turn around, okay?
I do, and she I do as she Okay. I do, and as she obliges and strip down to my boxers. I glance over my shoulder and see Yuuna strip down to her underclothes. She looks back at me over her shoulder and her cheeks turn pink.
Stop peeking!
Sorry. There's a small lantern hanging on the top of the tent which provides a tiny bit of light in the darkness. We sit quietly as the rain patters against the tent. I try not to think about Yuuna sitting half naked behind me, but my mind keeps wandering back to it. Think about something else. Maybe I should ask her a question. Guys, if you're embarrassed by your own nudity, get into your sleeping bags. I'm assuming those are in the tent. They'll cover you up perfectly well. Yuuna speaks before I can think of something to ask her.
So, have you ever played that game where you write a word on someone's back And they have to guess what it is?
That's a thing. Yeah,
Want to play?
sure.
Okay, I'll go first.
I played a variant where you basically have to hold a card up to your forehead. But anyway, Yuna's trying to ease the tension and pretend like nothing unusual's happening. I can hear the anxiety in her voice.
Don't look, okay?
She gently traces her finger along my back. My skin tingles where she touches. Oh, we're playing in English.
Yes.
She continues to trace letters on my back, one after another.
Okay, done. What did I write?
Feels like something that started with an H and ended with a Y. Happy? Felt like happy. Yuuna claps.
Yes, that was it!
Is that how you feel right now?
Yes.
Her voice is soft and I can imagine the blush on her cheeks. I feel that way too.
Okay, your turn.
I hear her gently settle into place, and then I turn to face her back. Her skin's porcelain smooth, and as I gently brush her hair out the way, I wonder what I should write. No! No! No, I am not doing the middle one, funny as it would be. I trace the word love on her back, acutely aware of the warmth on her skin. Okay, what is it? Her cheeks turn pink. I think she knows what it is.
Is it love?
You got it. A blush deepens. We play a few more rounds and chat for a few hours. Time goes by in a flash as we enjoy each other's company, and it looks like the rain stopped. I peek outside, and sure enough, the only rain is from dripping leaves. I'll go to the car and get our clothes. You stay here. Yuuna nods. Once I come back with the rest of our supplies, we quickly get changed and tuck ourselves into our sleeping bags after turning off the lantern. It's pitch black inside, and only the subtle noise of shuffling creates the sense of space.
I'm a little cold.
Her voice is muffled by the sleeping bag. Maybe I can fix that. I scoop my bag closer to hers and sling my arm around her. She smiles as she leans against me.
This is nice. Earlier, when we were playing that game, how did you choose which word to write?
I just wrote what I feel. She gasps slightly and looks up at me, and looks away as a blush stains her cheeks.
I think that's what I feel too.
Actually, technically they're not teenagers. University students. They're all idiots. For the record, I'm nearly 25 and I'm still an idiot when it comes to this kind of stuff. I don't think anybody ever becomes a non-idiot. When she makes eye contact again, I hug her even closer to me as my lips meet. Closer to me as my... It's a weirdly arranged sentence, but fair enough. I hug her even closer to me as my lips meet her own, and I take a sharp breath and breathe in her familiar scent. Her arms slip out of the sleeping bag and wrap around my neck. My lips linger as she gently pulls away and cuddles into me. We stay this way and enjoy the fullness of each other's company, and I listen to the soft sound of her breathing in the stillness of the night before drifting off to sleep. When awake, Yuuna is still cuddling up against me. I smile at her sleeping form. She looks so peaceful, and the sunlight filtering through the cracks of the tent frame her like an angel. I brush her stray hair away from her face and she blinks her eyes open. She smiles as her gaze fixes on me.
Good morning.
Morning. She stretches lazily and yawns.
Did you sleep well?
Well, very well actually. How about you?
Very well too.
We stay where we are for a long time before Yuuna reluctantly sighs.
I think it's time for us to pack up.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I sigh and nod, and we crawl out of our sleeping bags and get to work cleaning up after the camp. After heating up some of the food Yuuna brought, we pack everything into the car and drive back. I drop her off in front of her house and help her carry the things to her door.
Thanks so much for taking me on this trip. I had a great time.
Me too.
I'll see you Monday.
Yup. Our lips meet for one last kiss. Yuuna smiles and heads onto our house while I get back to my car and drive home. It's late by the time I reach home, and as soon as I do, I head straight for my room and collapse onto the bed. I couldn't have asked for a better day yesterday, but there's something comforting about coming back to my own bed. As my eyelids open and begin to droop, my phone rings, jolting me back awake. It's a call from Nikki. Of course I answer. Hello?
Thank God you're home.
She speaks quietly and seems almost out of breath.
Can you pick me up from the bookstore?
Her voice is garbled. I can barely make out what she's saying. What? She pauses. There's a lot of movement on the phone before she speaks again.
Please, can you get me?
Where are you?
At the bookstore.
Her voice is clearer, but she sounds scared. Be there in a minute. Something doesn't seem right. Alright, I'll be there in a few minutes. Nikki sighs in relief.
Thanks.
No, I'm sorry. You know, if family calls up and sounds like they're in trouble, you haul ass. We hang up the phone and I hurry back to my bike. Nikki would tell me she were in danger, wouldn't she? I try not to dwell on the thought, but pick up speed anyway. Luckily, traffic's on my side and I arrive in a few minutes earlier than anticipated. Nikki waits for me beneath the street lamp, only a few feet away from the bus stop. I can make out Ken's dark mop of hair beside her. It's a little strange she's not under the bus awning. What's Ken doing there? Nikki straightens up as I slow down. Like some blood stain her clothes and dark bruises mark her skin. Ken steps into the light to greet me and I wince when I see him. His left eye and cheek is puffy and starting to turn purple. Blood drips down his face from a cut at his temple, and he must have tried to clean it himself because his forehead is smeared with streaks of red. The hell happened here? I park my bike and rush over to them. Nikki throws her arms around me and hugs me tightly.
So glad you're here.
Oh my god, Nikki, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You're bleeding!
No, the blood's not mine.
Is it Ken's?
No.
You look like hell. He tries to smile and then dabs at his swollen lip, his fingernails stained with fresh blood. He holds himself stiffly and leans on the lamppost for support.
He saved me from those guys.
What guys?
I don't know. There was a group of them. 3, I think, waiting for the bus. And when I showed up, they started saying all these things about me. They were being so gross and creepy, but I tried to ignore them because I figured the bus would be there soon and it wouldn't matter. And then one of the guys tried to put his arm around me. Freaked out. Guess I pushed him and he got really angry.
Welcome to Assholes
The other guy grabbed
101.
me and
Seriously, this is why I believe that everyone should have at least a basic level of self-defense training. Of course, the only problem is then the assholes also have the level of self-defense training, which doesn't help the situation, but my blood runs cold. Did he hit you? Are you hurt?
no.
Nikki's voice trembles and her eyes glitter with tears. I'm about to pull her back into a hug when Ken slips his hand around hers and squeezes.
Ken intervened before anything could have happened.
She glances at Ken, smiling broadly.
He came barreling out of the bookstore, screaming at that guy to let me go. And then he punched him right in the face.
Don't go for the face. Well, it depends how you hit someone in the face. The problem is if you go across the jaw, yes, you might break the jaw, but you could end up getting scraped by the teeth on the way. Stomach's a better option for a number of reasons, but I appreciate it's not as, visceral. Stomach tends to be nice and flabby. But anyway.
The guy was super angry, and he and his friends ganged up on him.
How'd you get your bruises then? She frowns.
I tried to stop them from ganging up on Ken.
What were you thinking joining the fight? You could have been seriously injured. Nikki sets her jaw.
There was no way I was going to let Ken fight them alone. Especially not when this fight only happened because of me.
No, this fight happened because of assholes. I'm too stunned by her outburst to reply. Of course, I'm not pleased she put herself in danger, but... Okay, yes, a part of me is a little proud.
But I didn't really need to help.
I raise an eyebrow.
Ken beat 2 of them up by himself. The 3rd one had to help them up so they could escape.
What? I look skeptically at Ken. I wouldn't say scrawny, but he's no muscle man either. Ken shifts nervously. I think I still make him uncomfortable.
I have some experience with martial arts.
What do you mean, some experience? You're a 2nd dan black belt.
Ooh, you don't want to be messing with him. He's the what? Well, I wasn't expecting that. You threw yourself in harm's way to protect Nikki.
Of course.
Ken maintains eye contact and answers with conviction. Nikki blushes.
Anyway, I told Ken he should go back inside, but he refused.
It's not safe for her to wait alone.
I take another look at Ken. There's a fire in his eyes I'd never noticed before. When he looks at Nikki, he isn't that timid kid trembling in his boots. He looks like someone who's willing to move mountains. I meet his eyes, and I nod. Thanks for being there for her. He blinks in surprise, but nods back.
I only did what anyone would have done.
You'd be surprised.
Don't be so modest. You were amazing out there.
Ken shrugs awkwardly and then winces in pain. You sure you're okay, though? Maybe we should take you to the hospital. He shakes his head.
I'm fine. Nothing's broken.
I look him over. Don't know about that.
I told him we should call an ambulance, but he refused.
I promise, I'm okay. I'm sorry for causing you such trouble.
This is one of those rare times I wish my bike could fit more people. Do you at least have a ride home?
He let me call his brother to come pick him up.
Then we'll wait here with you until he arrives.
I appreciate the thought, but I would feel more at ease if you took Nikki home.
I insist. Nikki shakes her head.
What if they come back?
I know my brother will be here in a few minutes.
Then I can afford to wait for a few minutes.
Me too.
I glance at the dimly lit bookstore. Is the bookstore still open? Maybe we can wait inside there.
They're probably in the middle of closing.
I'm sure your coworkers will let you back in. They're probably wondering what happened to you anyway.
You work there? Ken nods. Then let's definitely get you back inside. Right, I'd prefer to wait for the end of this scene, but we've dragged this part out a little long, but that's fine because a couple of the others I've recorded today were a little short, so it should balance. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.